This is a Mini Cooper. What a lot of people don't know is that the old BMW X1 was based on the current Mini, but no longer. Introducing the new BMW X1. BMW says that almost everything about the new X1 is different and better. So the question is it good enough to take on the big selling Volvo XC40, Mercedes-Benz GLA and Audi Q3? Let's find out. For now, only two versions of the new X1 are launching, but come early next year, the fully electric iX1 will join the range. Now that should be interesting. Kicking things off is the X1 S-Drive 18i from $53,990 before on-road costs, or for another $12,000, the X-Drive 20i from $65,990. The 18i uses a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine to drive the front wheels, while the 20i scores a 2 litre 4-cylinder version with all-wheel drive. While both see price jumps of over 10% compared to before, they're also now shockingly well equipped for a BMW. Along with the standard items like automatic transmission, satellite navigation, a reverse camera, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless phone charging and alloy wheels, even the base grade now features keyless entry, sport seats, a head-up display, dual-zone climate control, adaptive LED headlights, a power tailgate, adaptive cruise control, automatic parking and a blind spot monitor. No longer is it necessary to bypass the base grade for access to equipment that others have long included as standard, making up for the price rises in these latest X1 models. Seriously, this is progress for BMW, especially when you consider the brand's improved warranty. More on that later. The previous Mini connection is gone, with this all-new platform being longer and wider than the last version. Plus, the body's been completely redesigned and is much larger than before. Let's dive into some of those details right now. Starting from the front, the nose is bigger and more upright as per every other new release BMW SUV, with the massive kidney-shaped grilles dominating, but somehow it gets away with looking friendlier. Clean, taut surfacing helps cut drag for better aerodynamics. The wheelbase has been stretched by 22mm, improving the BMW's proportions and interior packaging, and the bigger and boxier rear connects visually with the flagship iX EV. Progressive yet unexpectedly pretty in the flesh, the X1 should sell on looks alone. It's fair to say the new X1 is roomy enough to have some people think twice about spending more on its bigger X3 or even X5 siblings. Case in point, entry and egress are aided by large doors, body-hugging front seats provide great location as well as long-distance comfort, and there's a sense of space thanks to the generous glass area, slimline horizontal dash presentation, reduced switchgear, and lack of overall bulk. BMW also has practicality aspects covered, with ample ventilation, plenty of storage, and even an upright wireless phone charger cradle, which makes glancing at it safer and easier. Plus, our German-built SUV's interior features quite a lot of interesting shapes and textured finishes, amping up the premium ambience while, in most cases anyway, enhancing the user experience. Stepping into the rear seat area, there's sufficient clearance for most heads, shoulders, knees and legs, and most amenities are present, including ventilation outlets, USB ports and cup holders. For a small SUV, the BMW is quite large inside. So BMW has really worked hard to improve the details in this car. Things I love about the new model include the floating console, the excellent large multimedia screen, including the new operating system, the more natural and much more responsive Hey BMW voice control system, and the sliding rear seat, which is a worthwhile option. One of the areas where the X1 really shows up its predecessor is in cargo capacity, rising by up to 50 litres, depending on options, to a handy 540 litres. Best of all for families, the X1's boot is now within 10 litres of the larger BMW X3. In fact, it's so big you can now even fit a Mini inside. If you're familiar with the previous X1, you might think that the petrol engines are carryovers from before. Actually, they're 90% new or improved, according to BMW, for slightly more power and better efficiencies compared to before. For the record, the S-Drive 18i's 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol unit pumps out 115 kilowatts of power and 230 newton meters of torque. It slashes more than half a second off its predecessor's 0 to 100 km/h sprint time. The X-Drive 20i's 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine, meanwhile, delivers 150 kilowatts and 300 newton meters and needs 7.4 seconds to reach 100 km/h. Both engines employ a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, with the larger one including paddle shifters to help with fast throttle responses as well as cut fuel consumption. In the S-Drive 18i, drive is sent to the front wheels only, while the X-Drive 20i has an electronic all-wheel drive system that engages the rear wheels when greater traction is required. The old X1 was a little bit too Mini-like to drive. It just didn't have the BMW feel and dynamic prowess that you would expect from the brand. But this latest model, this third generation car, does push that envelope out at last, thank goodness. Let's start with the S-Drive 18i. This one, the 3-cylinder turbo, really performs just like the 4-cylinder one around town at low speed, because the way it's been tuned, it steps off the line smartly, it accelerates quickly, and it feels punchy right through. Like, it doesn't feel like a small engine in a heavy SUV. So it's only when you're out on the open road and you're going up hills or you need to overtake that you realize that the 3-cylinder is a wee bit small, but for most purposes and for most people, it should be fine. Moving on to the X-Drive 20i with its all-wheel drive system, that feels significantly faster and stronger in acceleration, as you would expect from the 4-cylinder turbo engine, particularly out on country roads. It also is smoother and quieter, and that engine really is one of the great 4-cylinder engines available today. Now, being an X1, you know, it's meant to appeal to the most mainstream audience that BMW sells to. So it's never going to be a racy or firm or particularly challenging car to drive. And as a result, the steering is it's quite light, it's quite soft, it's very easy. And for 99% of the people that buy X1s, that's fine. The good thing is, if you're willing to spend a bit more and get one of the M Sport Pack options, then you do get a variable ratio steering, so the handling steps up. With the adaptive dampers that comes with the M Adaptive Suspension Pack, it also both rides better when you've got it in regular mode and handles better when you decide to really step on it and put it in sport mode. So it just caters for a broader range of consumers. About the only thing that is a black mark on this car is there's quite a bit of road noise intrusion that comes through, particularly on our coarse bitumen roads, but generally it's as good as you could expect from a front-wheel drive biased BMW SUV. And you know what? That 2-litre engine, it just is a gem. So there pretty much is something for everyone in this car. Not even BMW's vaunted engineering boffins can make a car that's substantially larger and at least 70 kilograms heavier than before consume less fuel, which means the latest S-Drive 18i uses slightly more petrol at 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Similarly, today's X-Drive 20i all-wheel drive is thirstier than its indirect front-wheel drive predecessor, weighing well over 100 kilograms more. It returns a still respectable 7.2 litres per 100 kilometres for something with warm hatch performance. Note, however, that all X1s have a taste for more expensive 95 RON premium unleaded. Finally, if you're hankering for a diesel version, I'm afraid your luck's run out. It's petrol, electricity, or nothing at all for this generation of X1 anyway. Euro NCAP has recently awarded the X1 a 5-star crash test rating, and a similar result is expected from ANCAP in the very near future. Being such a fresh design, BMW has included many of the latest safety advancements, including a front center airbag, an assisted driver view in the standard head-up display, door proximity sensors so you don't strike passing cyclists, and active steering and lane keep technologies. Improved structural strength and rigidity are further highlights. Read my review for all the details on the latest safety tech and inclusions in this 2023 X1. At last, BMW has just introduced a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty with all its products, backdated to October 1. That's great news for a brand that's really dragged its feet compared to pretty much every other car maker selling vehicles in Australia. And while there's no cap price servicing, you can pre-purchase a number of service bundles to help save a bit more money further down the track. Keep in mind as well that BMW vehicles have a self-diagnosis feature that varies the service intervals according to how the vehicle is used, as well as general wear and tear. Our advice is to keep making an appointment annually or about every 10,000 kilometers just to be on the safe side. It should come as no surprise that the new X1 is better in every single way than the previous model. That's how evolution works, and no doubt losing that Mini connection certainly helps. But the really big news and the big surprise here is just how much better value this new generation represents. If you're in the market against the XC40, Q3 or Mercedes GLA, then this new kid on the block is definitely worth checking out. Better than expected, at least on this first launch drive experience, I'm giving the new X1 an 8.4 out of 10. Don't forget, you can read my review at carsguide.com.au, and as usual, thanks for watching.